everybody, here I am, Dr. Y, and today we actually have a guest, 19XYZ, alright? So together we are gonna improve on a randomizer tutorial. So, first things first, let's get started with the custom block. I will not edit this because I really wanna make sure that you guys see what to not do and what to do. So, let's get started. So, here we have our custom block. Now, with this custom block, if you actually right click on it, get a menu called edit. So click on that, right? And now we have all these options like we did when we had to make a block. So you want to run without screen. So let's go on run without screen refresh, right? So that means it just won't refresh the screen. So now we want to click on green flag, and sure, everything's going good right now. But look at that. It's so glitchy, right? It's just like doing everything right, and it's not at all what we wanted. It just doesn't work, right? So look at that, it just completely stopped. So let's go ahead and disable that setting. See, wow, I can't even stop. Well, okay, yeah, good, it stopped. So go and edit and disable run without screen refresh, right? That's what I was saying last time, to not enable that, because again, it will break your game. And actually, speaking of game, let's turn this into a game. So for that, it's actually pretty simple. You want to go into backdrops, alright? And we want to duplicate backdrop 2, right? Now we have backdrop 3, right? So for backdrop 2, we're going to edit that. So I'm going to say, let's put some white text, and we want to do drag the, and then whatever it is, right? For me, it's right now it's Earth. So Earth be while you play. Alright, so this gives the user a little bit of time to, one, drag the Earth right now, and it also allows them to have a more interactive time, right? Because once they press those keys, they can't do anything else. Now we also want to make sure we fix the code, right? Because now we're ending on backdrop 3. So we want to switch when in the button, right? We want to switch one backdrop switch to backdrop 2 to backdrop 3. Right? So anything that says backdrop 2, we want to switch all of that to backdrop 3. So let's just quickly do that. Alright, so now we're done switching everything to the backdrop 3, and we always can drag inside of this, right? But now we also want to drag if you're playing, right? So one green flag clicked, right? We also want to go to, I think it was sensing, right? It's gonna be set drag mode to draggable, right? So we're gonna put that right above the, actually right underneath the erase, right? And whoa, let me fix that. Yeah, right underneath the erase, and now we have set drag mode to draggable, right? See, not draggable means that we just can't drag it. Draggable means we can. So let's click on save now and see project page. Alright, so full screen and green flag click, right? Next, right? See, now I can drag the oh, well, here's this little bit. When backdrop switches to backdrop 3, but we still want to show it on backdrop 2 so we can drag. Alright, so let's save now and let's do that again. Alright, look at that. Okay, random color mixer. Next, there we go. We have the Earth, and look at that. I can drag it. That's amazing, right? And then it starts right there. Doesn't move, right? And if I can catch it, right, I can be able to drag it, right? And that should be really cool in the game. So this is how you can add a little bit of more interactive touch to this, right? Right now I'm actually too slow to drag it, but if you can, right, then you can go ahead and turn this into a game. And yeah, it's actually pretty fun, right? So let's ask 19XYZ how he likes it. So here we go. Let's click the green flag, right? This is the random color mixer. Right, and now click on next, right? And look at that, we can already drag it wherever we want, right? Click on next, and it starts from there. And then we can drag it to wherever we want, right? And now we got this whole array of colors. So, what do you think, 19XYZ?
I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think it's actually better than the old one because then you can just it's basically just customizing it. Like give the players their choice, let them be free.
Yeah, right. So that's what I said, right? It gives a more interactive touch, right? And this is all about customization. You customize to whatever you want, right? So you can choose to do this if you want, but it's not necessary. So let's look at some code highlights, all right? So what we did is inside the sprite one, right, the Earth in our case, has set drag mode to draggable right here, and we switched all of these run main code parts, right, from backdrop 2 to backdrop 3. We kept this whole main code itself and the arrow keys the same, and we also kept the show part the same. In the button, we just switched this backdrop 2 to backdrop 3. In the backdrops, we just added a new backdrop called backdrop 3, and we edited backdrop 2 so that they can know that, okay, now we can drag. Alright, so yeah, that's what's code highlights number 1. Let's get to the next part. Okay, so next thing we want to do is actually change the custom block itself. But first I want to explain, why are we using this custom block? How come we don't just duplicate this code and just use that? Well, the custom block, one, it makes the code shorter, so it looks a little cleaner, so it's much easier for us to do this, right? And number 2, it actually reduces lag, right? So instead of having like 10 forever loops, alright, what we can do is have one forever loop, and all of this code runs this code, alright? So technically, we're not running this code in each one, but this code is running the custom block. So that allows us to reduce lag, which is very helpful for any project, right? Because like, say you're using a Chromebook or something like that, it's gonna be pretty slow. So how about we go ahead and change some values? Let's ask 19XYZ here, what should we change? What should we do, right? So he can see the screen right now. So I think we should change the move pick random to 0 to 30 steps, right? So what do you think that we should change it to?
I think we should change to not 0 to 30 steps, but maybe I don't know, 2 to 37 steps, something like that, so that it never has no movement, because then that'll get pretty boring if you have 0 movement at some point.
Yeah, well, if you think about it, right, just look at the code carefully, right? There's always going to be some movement, right? Because we're always gliding 1/6 to random position, right? But then it's that little bit of extra movement. So yeah, but let's still try your idea. So let's go ahead and change the move random to 2 and 37. Alright, so now we have this, and let's click on save now, and let's go ahead into full screen and see how this works. Alright, so we have our random color mixer. Click on next, right? We can instantly start like that. Oh wow, it's actually really interesting. Alright, now it's more flat, but still really cool. Right, so if you like this, you can always use this. That's actually really cool. It gives a little bit of the same effect, right? But it has a little bit more variety. And in fact, right, what we could do is we could have a pick random inside of a pick random. Alright? So we can take out 2 more pick randoms. Alright, and we can put them inside the values. So we can move a 100%. So we can have the whole scale randomize itself, alright? So 19XYZ, what do you think we should change the first pick random to?
May I see it a little bit closer?
Yeah, sure.
There's a little bit of glare.
How's this?
Okay, pick random 1 to 10. Okay, maybe we should change it to maybe pick random 1 to 12.
Okay, 1 to 12, right? Because so our base values. So okay, so basically our base values are gonna be between 1 to 12, and what are our second range gonna be?
Probably 3 to 24.
I think you forgot, right? this is all in still one giant pick random, alright? So if you remember, right? So yeah, sure we can have 1 to 12, but 3 goes inside this range, so that won't really work. So give us another idea. See, this is an example, perfect example of what can sometimes happen. So what should we do this to?
Yeah, I mess up quite a bit. So
Yeah.
I think we should do maybe 1 to 14 or 2 to 14.
Again, we can't do that, remember, because we have 1 to 12, so we have to do more than 12.
Okay, then, uh, 13 to 27.
Okay, 13 is gonna be a little tight. I think we should do 15, alright? And 37, right? That's also great. So now we have even more random, alright? And if you guys want at home, you guys can put even more pick randoms in each of these values. So, and then you can have even more randomness and even more randomness. So it's like a great little bit of chaos, which is exactly what we want. Click on the green flag. Go on. Next. And okay. Looks pretty cool so far. Wow. I gotta say, it's nice. Those were some good values, 19XYZ. Those are some good values, because we are getting quite some nice movements. Don't you agree?
Yes, I agree wholeheartedly.
Okay. So let's go on to the next part. So how about we change some of these values a little bit more? I think we should also have some changes in the pen. So what we want to do is go to the pen section, and I think we should mess around a little bit with the pen thickness. So we can set pen size, alright? So before we even move, right? Before we even move, pen down and set pen size to, obviously we're going to do a pick random. Alright, now we don't want it too thick, right? Because right now the pen size is 1. So we do want to be 1, right? I think it should be a 1 to 3, right? A 1 to 3 ensures that we don't get too thick, because the whole beauty of this are the thin lines that make up the 3D shapes. So let's go ahead. Now we have this set pen size to pick random 1 to 3 right before, and now let's go ahead and try this. Okay, so we have the randomizer part, and click on next, right? It's the same. And would you look at that? Oh wow, it's actually pretty cool as well. Would you look at that? Because now it's like a random amount of pen size as well. And I actually kind of like this stick size a little bit. Right? It's nice to have this little change. Very nice, very nice. So, yeah. So this pick random 1 to 3 is honestly the best values I could find. So, yeah. Alright, so this is one little bit that we have chosen, and let's get on with the next part. Alright, so now we made this pick random very different, and we added a changed pen size here. So let's get on with some more. And I think we should actually keep on experimenting with the run main code, right? Because the main code is, well, the main code, right? And that run main code allows us to do so much, alright? And we've been doing so much pick randoms, right? Might as well put a pick random in everything, right? So pick random, right? And put pick random in the original pick random like we did last time. You can't get any more random than this, can you? So we want to do pick random. Let's do 5 to 20 degrees for the turn. For the glide, for how many seconds? We should do, how about half second to 2 seconds, right? And we should set this to the original values like it was before, 2 and 12, and this was 15 and 37, I think. And the color should be 19XYZ. I'm a little stumped. What should the color effect be? Because before we had the change color effect by 10, right? But now we're doing a pick random. So what should it be?
Maybe pick random 4 to 15.
Okay, 4 to 15. Let's do that. So we got 4 and we got 15. Alright, now let's go ahead and try this. So let's always click on save now, click on the full screen, and click on the green flag. Right? Next, and okay, it actually pretty cool because now some parts are moving much faster, right, which makes it like a little thinner. Some parts are moving slower, which makes it a little bigger, right? And yeah, it's actually pretty nice. And some parts are moving faster, some parts are moving slower. Pretty cool if you ask me, right?
Yes, very cool.
Alright. So this is this part, right? And let's get on with the next thing. Alright, now I'm sure you guys have seen thumbnails in a lot of projects, right? And yes, my extension does allow me to set a thumbnail, but I'm pretty sure not all of you guys have a thumbnail. So how do you exactly create a thumbnail? Well, it's actually quite simple. What you want to do is you want to paint a new sprite, right? You can name it thumbnail. Alright, and now you can just design your thumbnail. So I think we should use this, alright? The random color mixer. That looks like a great thumbnail to me. So then we go and put in the random color mixer. Alright, great. Now let's name this costume thumbnail as well if you want. Alright, and all you actually have to do is first align this. So we have to have the X 0 and the Y 0. And we also want to make sure this is being shown. Alright, and if you want, right, go to looks, right, and click on this block. Just click on it, right, so we make sure it's on the front layer. And when green flag clicked, hide. Alright, so we're gonna drag this out, click on looks, and we want to hide. Alright, and now click on save now. So the scratch, right, the way it saves is it lets like, so whatever it's saved, right, and whatever it looks like when it's saved, that's how it's going to show it. So right now it looks like this when it's saved, right? And so when green flag click is we want to hide it, right? So that they don't like see this giant thumbnail blocking everything. So let's even reload to even see this thumbnail. And just let it load a little bit. Which look at that. There we go. That's our thumbnail. So do you think this is actually any use in 19XYZ?
I cannot see the code at the moment.
Okay, not the code, just the thumbnail itself.
The thumbnail.
Do you think it's useful? Like, do you think it can help anyone?
Attract people to your project.
Yeah, right. So the whole point.
It would be useful if you want popularity, but if you don't want it, then it's useless.
Yeah, exactly. So again, for popularity, right? And if you want more views and you want more people to look at your thing, right? It's always good to have a thumbnail. It doesn't really take that long, right? I whip this thing up pretty quickly, and yeah, it's a very useful thing. So yeah, and I actually know that some people, right? Even my friend here, 19XYZ, he actually didn't like. He has really good projects, but he actually didn't know that there was a thing called a backpack. So I actually want to explain the backpack itself to you. So here, right, even inside, even without my Chrome extension, right, let me actually go ahead and quickly pause this and show you without the Chrome extension. Alright, see, so this is how it looks. This is how what you guys probably should see, right? This is exactly what you should see. So if you go down and you see this little thing called backpack, so I'm going to click on that, and I already have some stuff inside mine. But basically what you can do is you can drag a sprite in here, and boom, that sprite, along with all its costumes, sounds, and code, gets in there, right? And then when you drag it out into this area, then all the code, costume, and everything, right? And you can also even just drag little bits of code. You can drag just costumes, you can drag just sounds, you can drag just backdrops, right? And everything actually gets saved. So that's actually a very useful thing if you ever want to use it, right? Because if you want, you can actually even just make this, alright? And, right, you can put this in your backpack, and then, like, That way, for like, you can like change this thumbnail anytime you want, and then boom, you got a thumbnail in every single one of your projects, and it's very easy. And another thing is, when you save, right, there's an option to save to your computer. So when you click on that, you say download it as a .sp3 file. That means Scratchblocks 3. So with that Scratchblocks 3 file, actually from my intro, right, the intro that you saw in this video, in that I recorded the intro, but I forgot to add the sound. Now, if you rename it to .zip instead of .sp3, then you can actually go see all the contents, right? And you click and open it, and then you can actually see all the contents. Of course, it won't be named like Sprite 1, Button 2, Thumbnail, or anything like that, but it does allow you to like drag certain parts out. So yeah, there's some little tips about Scratch in general, so that you guys can have a smoother Scratch experience. Let's get on with the next thing. Alright, so now that we have discussed that, let's let 19XYZ himself tell us what we should change. So 19XYZ, what exactly do you want to change? Do you want to change the main code itself? Do you want to change something in the button? Do you want to change the backdrop? What?
I don't actually think there's much to change. It's pretty good.
Yeah, right, but I think we're going to do a little bit better, right? Like some little tweaks that we can do, such as an animated backdrop, alright? Imagine, right, that you have an animated backdrop. Now, wouldn't that be cool while you're doing it? So you go and...
Yeah, I don't think I can do that. You can probably do that, but I'm not that good of a scratcher yet, but I think I might find a way to do that.
Alright, so look, even my friend 19XYZ doesn't know how to do this, right? So let's go ahead, and now I will show you guys how to make an animated backdrop. So what you want to do is just edit backdrop to itself, right? And so you want to change the color to something like an actual color. It can't be black or white, but it can be literally anything or other than that. So actually, I'm gonna choose a gradient because I like those, right? So for the first color, let's make it like a red or orangish, you know, nice orange. And the second color should be like a nice yellow. All right. Yeah. Wait. Oops. All right. So 19XYZ, how does this look as a backdrop?
That's a very nice backdrop. It looks kind of like a sunrise.
Yeah, right. And again, we're gonna have our colorful colors in here. It's not really the best for this project exactly sometimes, because again, the project itself is gonna be colorful, but it is pretty useful. Now, what we want to do?
Backdrop.
Oh,
I prefer darker backdrops because they contrast with the lighter colors and makes it easier to see.
yes.
If you make light colors and light colors together, you won't see the actual project taking place.
Okay, so how exactly should we? So what color should we make the first color for the first top color? What should we make the top color?
I would think maybe a dark purplish.
Okay, so how about you go ahead and tell me the hex color code, and I'll tell them exactly what we should do it. So just go ahead and tell me the hex color code.
Okay, let me see. 1 second.
Alright, it's okay. Take your time. It's okay.
Hashtag 4B.
Next.
I think it's 0082.
0082. Click on enter. Yeah, there we go. We got a nice dark purple. For you guys probably don't have a hex color picker, but basically we want to get a color 76, saturation 100, and brightness 51. Alright? And what should we make the second color?
The second color should probably be gray to black.
Alright, so we want to change the color to whatever you want. I'm going to do 0. Saturation should be 100%. I mean 0 actually. And now we can just slide this slider down a bit. Let's do...
It gets progressively darker.
Yeah. Right. So let's do 15, alright?
Darkness is better.
15 is good, right? How does this look? 15.
Very good. I think you can make the bottom darker though.
Okay, yeah, let's try that then.
Maybe like the darkness, maybe like...
Okay, how about this, right? How about we make the dark purple itself a little darker, as well as the bottom?
Yes, that would help a lot.
Yeah, so the first color should be... For the first color, we're going to have 76, saturation 100%, and brightness 41. Alright? And for the second color, we're gonna have 0 color, 0 saturation, and 6 brightness. Alright? And now we get a nice, really dark, like almost like a slightly evil actually color. And now we also want to animate this.
I'll be sure to use that kind of color in my other projects.
Yeah, alright. I'll even put this in the assets project, alright, so you guys can use this. So one green flag clicked, right? We want to drag out a forever loop. And then we just want to change color effect by, let's say, 2. Alright, and to test out just this bit of code and not the rest, all you gotta do is just click on this little new bit of code that you code. Right, and look at that, right? Now we have this. Alright? But I think it's moving a little too fast for my taste, right?
Let me see this.
Yeah, do you think it's moving a little too fast?
I think we make it maybe like
Slightly slower?
a half a second or a second slower, because I think that's quite good.
Yeah,
But
right?
a little bit slower would be good for us.
Exactly. So we're going to control again, and we're going to drag out the wait 1 second block, but we don't want to wait exactly 1 second. We want to wait 0.2 seconds, alright? Click on save now, and let's click on the code again. And wow, look at that. We got a nice gradient, but it's not smooth. Right? It is smooth, but it's a little choppy. So let's do 0.1 seconds instead. Alright, and it instantly gets a little bit smoother, right? And I gotta say, it's pretty good, right?
Very good. Also, I have been working on a project for quite some time now called Just the Boss Fight.
Alright.
If you would be kind enough to check it out, then props to you.
Yeah, so please definitely go ahead, check out his project called Boss Fight. I'll link it down in the description. Be sure to love and favorite that project, alright? It's a really good project, right? So go ahead and be sure to check that out. So now I'm gonna go ahead and click on full screen, and let's see the actual project itself. Click on green flag. Right? See, this actually affects our main thing as well, right? So wow, it's actually kind of looks a little cool, right? And click on next, and look at that. Here we go, and you can actually see almost everything pretty clearly. Nothing's too dark. We can actually see everything perfectly fine. And it's pretty nice. Though, if you don't want to start at the first backdrop, you want to start only at the second backdrop, right? When green flag clicked, right, forever if, right, you want to add an if loop into that, right? And then go to operators and drag out an equals block, right? And go to sensing and backdrop number of stage, right? So we want to obviously have the stage selected, right? And you can do backdrop name, number, or name, alright? I'm going to do number, and I'm going to do backdrop number equals 2, right? So that number means, alright, so this is that number. That number it's looking for, this is that little 2, alright? Or if you want, you can change the name, right? And then if you do name, right, then you can just type in backdrop 2. Alright, so let's go ahead and try that out. So full screen, and green flag clicked, right? Look at that, there's no change in the random color mixer, but as soon as we click next, boom, it starts getting animated. I hope you guys like this, right? It actually looks pretty cool, and it's got a very nice, like, more good feel to it. And all these things that I've showed you so far, if you want, you guys can actually mash them all up together, right, to create the ultimate 3D generator. This was 3XY and 19XYZ, and I'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Game that 19XYZ made is Power Quest. Would you care to tell us a little bit more about this?
Yes. It was by far my hardest game to make. Yeah.
Yeah. So how about you tell us a little bit more about the game itself?
Well, the game itself is basically just like a training game.
Alright, so that sounds pretty hard.
To get power, fight in the arena, things like that. Very simple.
Yeah, looks actually pretty fun, man. And if you click on, if you just, come on, we just like tap T, right, and we train, and look at that, I already completed his first quest, right, and, okay, yeah, so I just did the first quest, right, and boom, I got a whole fireball, and the best part is he made all this art by himself, right, so it's actually really good art.
Well, credit to 3XY for some of his bug fixes that I was actually unable to fix.
Yeah, Yeah, because actually
Right.
it was very interesting, right? How there was a very simple and stupid bug. There was actually just, right? It was just lag, in fact. Not even a bug, right? Lag. So I decided to make a new custom block for this, right? So then that way you just have to use a custom block and boom. The lag is greatly reduced, right? And I'll put the custom block down in the description as well so that you guys can drag that into your backpack and use it in your own games. It's WASD and arrow key supported. So reduces greatly my lag. And the little things like sometimes you put a comma inside if a variable equals blah blah blah. You put a comma that actually destroys games sometimes. Alright, like this game for example. So then it actually took me a little while to realize there was a comma, so I told him to fix it, and yeah, now it's an amazing game. It's actually a giantly amazing game.
The most trending and popular project.
Yeah.
27 views in like 7 days.
Yes, and please go ahead and also look at my Red Dude platformer. All right, it's already got 90 views. All right, I'm so happy. All right, it's got 8 loves and 9 stars. Faves. I've got WADs, arrow keys, spacebar. We've got T for timer, F for FPS. We got 3 levels. We have microbit support. All right, we got so much in here. All right, and I see I'm a VIP. This is a sneak peek of some VIP. Alright, and look at that. Just look how smooth this is. Alright, it's amazing. And yeah, it's actually a really great thing. Right, and for T, right, look at that. You press T, you got a nice timer. You can toggle that. You got F, and we've got an FPS counter. Alright, so now we've got a frames per second counter so we can see how laggy we are. Alright, and yeah, please, I'll put all these links in the description, and please go ahead and make sure to check them out. I'll see you next time. Bye.